All right, we're here with Chad Steele, Senior Vice President of Communications for the Baltimore Ravens, an Army brat born at West Point, raised in a military family. Chad brings a lifetime of leadership, adaptability, and service into professional sports. So, Chad, you grew up moving from duty station to duty station. How did growing up in a military family really kind of shape the leader that you are today?
I think when you're moving every couple of years, you've got to learn new systems, meet new people, which I really enjoyed. So I think having to do that and the respect that my parents taught me for people, make sure you look people in the eye, you shake their hands properly and make those connections because the connections will last a lifetime. So I think that really led into it, just being able to understand people and how you can affect them and how they can affect you.
As somebody, West Point grad, it obviously this means more to you than not just this game, but just the spirit behind what we're doing here. Can you tell me a little bit about West Point and the spirit that's at West Point that you think ties into the young men that are going to be battling it out?
Yeah. Well, I didn't graduate West Point. My dad did. Yeah. My dad was the first black football player at West Point.
Nice.
And so he went back to coach, and I was born on post when he went back to coach. But West Point has been everything about West Point has been in our lives since I was a kid. And so I just think the part of the West Point cadet prayer, make us choose the harder right rather than the easier wrong, and never be content with a half truth when the whole can be won. Since the time I can remember, that was put into our heads. So when something happened at the house, oh no, Sage broke the vase. It's like, Chad, harder right, and you're like, okay, I did it. So so understanding the values that are instilled in everybody there, taking that to heart, and then really trying to pass that on to our children.
With being in the military myself and then having 3 kids and just thinking about how adaptable and resilient they had to be when I was in the service. So military kids are really familiar with that from the different duty stations, parents being away. So I think like at an early age being able to really hone into that spirit of adaptability, but really using that as probably a superpower, even in your role today with the Ravens.
Yes, I mean, we have 70 guys on the roster. We have 30 coaches. We have 350 people in our organization. So there's so many different people that you have to deal with on a daily basis, and really meeting them where they are, which is a lot easier for me, having moved 14 times and being overseas and moving to all these different places where you had to kind of reset and be able to learn how to adapt to people. So it was hard as a kid. My wife never moved. She was born and raised in one place and then went to college, so she didn't understand it. I don't understand it the reverse way, and I think it's really hard. But I still have friends from my entire childhood that we have stayed connected, and I think that's part of it, where you are going to these different duty stations, you're going to these different places, and you meet these amazing people that are like-minded and understand that you want to be in their lives, they want you to be, and you want to be in their lives, but really being able to adjust and adapt, because you don't talk to Lamar Jackson the same way you talk to Mark Andrews or Ozzie Newsome or Coach Harbaugh. So those life lessons as I grew up that I didn't realize I was getting really lend to what I do now.
I think it's really interesting because we, as military, and a lot of people who, when they look at the military and you think of leadership, they think from the top down. But a lot of people don't realize small unit leadership and how important that is. And also how that bleeds into friendships. When you're surrounded by the right people,
yes,
everyone has a role within that friend group, and you check each other. For better or for worse, your goal is to make each person stronger. So how do you... the leadership qualities that you have that bleed into this, how do you see these things sort of incorporated into the sports world? I mean, how do you see the leadership qualities that the military espouses? What makes the Army-Navy game different than other football games? I guess is kind of what I'm getting at.
Oh man, it is from the time I can remember. Even we're Greece, Belgium, Panama, where Armed Forces Network every Saturday had the Army-Navy game on, and it was nothing happened in the Steele household on Army-Navy Saturday. Nice. I went to them when I was a kid with my dad, and I've been to 6 as an adult. Wow. And it's just my wife, who had never been to one, when it was here, I think in 2016 or 2017, it was here in Baltimore. We were on a bye, so we were able to go. And I said, okay, we got to get there at 8 a.m. She's like, kickoffs until 3 or 4.
Was that the streak break? 2016 was when Army broke the streak, right?
I think so.
Yes,
I think they,
yes,
wow.
That had
And
to
so,
been a hell of a
yeah,
game.
Dude, tribute-
and so my wife is like, "Why are we here early?" And then you see the march on, and then she's like, "Okay, I get it." And taking
Yeah.
pictures and photos and sharing it with her family. So even if you don't have a tie to the military, it really, it's important. That's why it's a standalone game. No one else is playing, because it's what it means to these men and what it means to the country, and it's so important. So even though we're flying to Cincinnati, we have a game this weekend. I will be on. I will have my iPad. We have
Nice.
Wi-Fi. I will be watching it there. I'll be watching it when we get to the hotel, because you see what these men on the field and the women, the men and women in the stands are going to be doing for our country.
Yes.
You can all kind of come together and root against each other. I root against Navy for today,
Yeah.
but understanding what they're going to do for us as a country afterwards is just a really special thing.
Yeah, I mean, you talked a little bit about the significance of the game and what it kind of means for the cadets and everything, but like the game is in your backyard, you
Yes.
know, and it's like coming here and you have such a rich lineage and history with your family and also extended family as well. So just like personally, like what does it mean to you? And also like what was like the like one of your favorite moments from the six that you had been to? Because I saw the Apaches fly over when the Army
that
came
was
out
cool.
last year. But then the F-18s went right after. I've been telling the story, but that was, I mean, where else are you going to see that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I've been to combat. I didn't even see that.
Yeah, it's amazing, and you feel a part of it, and and I've worked. I think I've worked 10 Super Bowls, and that's one of the biggest things in the world.
Yeah, that's right.
Army Navy to me is more special because of what it means to the country, and I remember sitting across at Veterans Stadium. I can't remember what year it was, but the stands collapsed and a couple of the cadets fell over, and one broke his arm, and they didn't want to leave. They say, "Hey, we want to stay to the end of the game."
Wow.
But it's just watching that march on has always just been so amazing to me, because of what it means and what it means to us, what it means to the people on the field. It's just the pageantry of it. I'll never get over. I always get emotional watching it, even if I'm watching it on TV. But everything that the game represents, it's the best of what we have to offer in this nation, and I love being a part of it and being able to watch it every year.
Brother, every cadet, every midshipman is one day gonna become a veteran, and that's where the American Legion shows up, supporting veterans and giving people an opportunity to serve when that service is over. Having you here means a lot. We know your time's very very tight here, and we just appreciate the time that you've spent here. Chad Steele, Army brat. Senior Vice President of Communications, Baltimore Ravens. Thank you so much for being with us on Media Row today, brother.
Thanks for having me, and thanks
Chad.
for what you guys do. It means a lot. It doesn't go unnoticed. Appreciate your
you, brother.
service.
Appreciate
Can we
you.
get you to
Thank you.
sign the?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.